it's probably one of the best feelings I experienced. That in that exact moment, I truly felt like a true champion. I didn't. I came there only for the ring. I didn't eat. I didn't do anything. And it was the whole ceremony was great. It was good to see some of my old teammates. And talk to them. But that ring was speechless, man. I really enjoyed it. I'm trying to find a place to do it, find something to do with it. So.
AJ, Nick said, the culture that he's trying to build and has built here so far is just to stay in the present, never think about the past, don't think too far ahead.
Absolutely.
How has that resonated down with the guys on the roster?
I think it's easy for them, honestly, because they didn't experience that. I think that's tougher for guys who experienced what we did. And I think Nick is doing a great job drilling in our head. Just to let the past be the past and move forward, because none of that matters. Every day you're a new person. So what you did yesterday is not gonna help you do what you do today. So.
What is Kevin Pizzurro's approach to implementing the offensive training game?
He's definitely trying some things. This is training camp, so we're gonna see some new wrinkles in there, and throw some different things, and we're just gonna try to build up what we did last year. I think he's very familiar with us. We know him. We have a great relationship, so there's a positive, and we're just gonna continue to try to build from what we did last year really well, and just add a little finishing touches on it.
Yeah. Based on the talent and experience, do you think there's more in the passing game than you guys showed last year if you chose to open things up?
Of course. I think your better can always get better. It can even get better in the run game as well. So we're always just trying to find ways to evolve, and I think that's the focus right now in training camp.
Speaking of that, Terrace Marshall seemed to have make some nice catches today. What have you seen in the short time that he's been here?
He's coming along quite well, honestly. Even in the spring, he was making a lot of catches. I know you guys didn't see it, but he's gonna make the room very uncomfortable, and that's a great thing, And I'm excited to see the room continue to evolve. Not just him, but everybody push each other. So I'm excited.
When you talk about the offense getting better as a whole, how important is it to have the continuity that you guys have with 10 of 11 starters back and everything?
Right. It's very important, like today on the goal ball today, me and Jalen just said two things to each other, and it was simple, and that comes with experience and time, and so that's why it's important just to have those guys in the offense, some familiar faces, because you know each other, you know the body language, the verbiage, and that's very helpful.
You're talking about the defense. There's a lot of youth over there in battles for positions. How important of a role is that for you, battling against them every day, helping them out?
Right. I think it's a part of my responsibility, part of our responsibility as wide receivers to get those guys ready, and vice versa, and I joke around with Coop all the time. I call him All Pro Coop, APC, All Pro Coop, because this is gonna be a year for him. I'm not trying to put pressure on him, but I tell him all the time, I'll make you All Pro, and that starts in camp, each and every day. So.
Last summer we saw Quinion kind of come at you pretty early. How much those battles obviously helped him early on, and how much of those battles helped you?
Man, tremendously, man. I love the good work. He's gonna compete at a high level. I give him that one today. Even though it was a DP pass interference, but I give him that win today on that one rep. But he's gonna compete at a high level. He's not gonna back down, and I expect him to evolve.
AJ, you won obviously the Super Bowl. You've got two big contracts, all pros, Pro Bowls. At this stage in your career, what left is there for you to accomplish? How do you approach the second half of your career in this college?
Just continue to be the best version of myself, I truly feel like I'm the best in the league, and I want to put a stamp on it, So I'm definitely motivated, but also have to put the team first. So, and that's what I'll do. Honestly, you know, I could go into deeper, but you know, I think that's what I'm focused on. You know, being the best version of myself. You know, and you know, proving it each and every day that I am the best.
How's best in the league demonstrated? Is it with statistics? Is it with all pros? What's the measure for best in the league?
You know, I think, you know, that's my measurement. You know, it's not what, you know, what the critics say or whoever said. That's for me personally. You know, God placed that in my heart. When I came in the league, He told me that I could be the best in the league. You know, and I think right now I'm closer than I ever been, and I want to put a stamp on it. And so, you know, that's for me. You know, that's not for whoever else. I don't care what anyone else says. This is personal for me. You know, and that's what I'm chasing every day. You know.
Well, AJ, you talked about, you just mentioned being the best version of yourself. Given everything positive that happened to you, that's happened over the year, championship, stuff in your personal life, how much of a challenge was it for you to kind of handle that success and those blessings and those kinds of things? Those things can get you outside of yourself too.
No, absolutely. You know, that's something that that doesn't really be talked about a lot. You know, handling success. You know, we always talk about battling adversity, but you got to learn how to battle success, and that's one thing. I ground myself each and every day. You know, these blessings come from God. You know, not from me. You know, I get all my gifts and everything from Him, and so I'm continue to stay grounded with Him, and continue to keep growing each and every day. So.
Do a couple more.
We saw the ring ceremony, all of the rings out. We saw a lot on social media sent out by means that you could see Jalen Hurts did not take the ring out of the box and put it on. We see now he's been on a mission. Is that part of the motivation this year again, you think?
I really don't know. I think that's probably a question for him. You know, I don't know.
When did you first think that being the best in the league is tangible? When did you first think that being the best receiver in the league is tangible?
During pregame, my first game of the season against Cleveland Browns, and Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham ran out on the field, and the crowd went crazy. And just that feeling, you know, that adrenaline that I got, you know, I said that's gonna be me one day, right? And here I am.